Now on CoastTV News.
Deadly Dallas ice shooting. What we are learning this morning about the FBI's investigation and how a Delmarva city is looking at its arrangement with ICE.
New police oversight nearly 10 months after announcing its formation, Milton's Police Accountability Committee is ready to begin its work.
It's a muggy, damp start to our Thursday. We have a yellow alert day in place for the threat of severe storms this evening. I'll time out the storms in minutes.
Attorney General answers. Delaware's Kathy Jennings is in Georgetown today. What she is expected to out to the Sussex County Democratic Committee.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we're making our way in the 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Thursday, September 25th, 2025.
Yeah, we're already experiencing temperatures in the 70s, yes. And we haven't even hit sunrise yet.
We have not. This weather, this first week of fall, Chris, definitely exciting some people where I live because the pool is still open and it is still busy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, guys, and a pleasant good morning, Delmarva. I know who all my team summer people are, all my team fall people are, who are still complaining that it's still quite muggy out. It is pretty warm this hour. 73 in Cambridge, dew point 73, so it is very sticky out there this morning. Now, through the western part of the peninsula, we could see an isolated shower through the morning, but most of the area stays cloudy and dry, and then we'll see partly sunny skies through the afternoon. We had a few showers, some sprinkles overnight, nothing all that impressive. We see a complex of some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms back off to the west, west of Richmond and to the southwest of D.C. This area is pushing to the north, and some of those showers could graze the far western reaches of the peninsula later this morning, but the main complex of storms is still back off through Ohio and portions of Kentucky, and that will be impacting us later on today through the evening hours. Not seeing much in the way of fog this morning, but as I mentioned, quite mild. We're at 73, Milford 74, Seaford, and we're at 74 in Gumboro. Uncomfortable humidity levels when we get above 65, and we're well in the 70s, and this is going to be really the peak of the humidity today. As we get in the afternoon, notice some breaks in the clouds, and that may kind of intensify the threat of some storms if we get some sunshine, kind of enacting the instability in the air through the peninsula. So damaging winds as well as an isolated brief tornado can't be ruled out through the evening. A cloudy, damp weekend ahead with scattered showers and even into early Sunday. And then we're keeping a close eye on the tropics. We have a new tropical storm, Umberto, and we may have another one as well in Melda. How those systems are going to behave across the East Coast in the early next week and how they may impact our forecast. We'll talk more about that coming up a bit later on in the newscast. Matt.
All right, Chris, thank you for that. Our top story this hour, officials in Salisbury are questioning a potential partnership with ICE.
Monday night, some council members voiced concerns regarding any city involvement with a proposed 287G agreement.
Yeah, Wycomico County officials are leading the charge for this, and any deal will ultimately be between the county and ICE.
But earlier this month, the city announced its intent to cooperate. Council member Michelle Gregory says she doesn't think this would be in the interest of the city's best interest.
I think number one, you'll see an increase in unreported crime. I think that it will make many of those in that community fearful of reporting things that they see or experience. So it would actually probably make our community less safe statistically.
Salisbury Mayor Randy Taylor, who's been pushing for the city's involvement, says he believes this would make Salisbury safer.
New overnight, investigators are continuing to search for a motive after a man opened fire on an Immigration and Customs Enforcement field office in Dallas on Wednesday.
The NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the FBI says the attack was one of targeted violence and that they found bullet casings etched with anti-ICE sentiments.
This morning, growing questions and fallout from the deadly shooting at an ICE field office in Dallas, with top officials promising heightened security.
Making sure that our ICE officers have the ability to operate safely. In fact, they've seen a 1,000% increase in violent attacks against them.
A gunman on Wednesday firing from a nearby rooftop hit a transport van, killing a detainee inside it and critically wounding 2 others before taking his own life. No officers were hurt but are believed to be the target.
Rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
Investigators releasing this image of a bullet casing etched with the words anti-ice, along with photos of bullet holes in a window and an American flag inside the facility. Multiple senior law enforcement officials identifying the suspect as 29-year-old Joshua John. His brother told NBC News John didn't have strong feelings about ICE and wasn't interested in politics on either side as far as he knew. President Trump blaming Democrats, posting, "I am calling on all Democrats to stop this rhetoric against ICE and America's law enforcement right now." Top Republicans with similar messages.
To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop.
One Dallas pastor who's been praying with other clergy members outside Dallas ICE headquarters, calling for justice for migrants and against violence, speaking out against the shooting.
It couldn't be more opposite of the kind of message that we've been trying to witness to.
Among the voices now calling for common ground. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening tonight in Georgetown, Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings is set to take part in a town hall. It's not open to the full public, according to the Sussex County Democratic Committee. The invitation is for registered Democrats. Jennings has partnered with other Democratic attorneys general in suing the Trump administration this year, including the setting of conditions of federal grants for victims of crime. According to the committee, the town hall will start at 6 o'clock at the First State Community Action Agency on North Railroad Avenue.
And new this morning in Milton, the town's very first Police Accountability Committee meeting is taking place later today. A law was passed in the last session of the Delaware General Assembly stating that all police departments in Delaware must have an accountability committee. Milton announced the formation of their committee last year, but the town hall confirmed to us that tonight is its actual first meeting. Committee members are expected to review their training to help advise the police department.
Also new this morning, the Seaford Police Department is having a community event. It's called Seaford Night Out Against Crime. The night of involvement takes place Thursday, October 9th from 5 to 7 o'clock at the Seaford Police Department. The department says it's all about building partnerships between people and police to keep neighborhoods safe and drug-free. There will be food, music, games, vendors, and giveaways, plus a canine demo and a visit from the Delaware State Police Mounted Patrol.
Salisbury Police Department says they are seeing a recent increase in reported fraud schemes. These scams typically use email, text messages, and phone calls to send computer viruses, and this allows the scammers to get sensitive personal information. That can include bank accounts, credit card information, and social security numbers. The police say to never give any personal data without verifying the identity of the organization or person, and to never click on a link from an unknown email or website.
Today, South Bethany is putting pedestrian and bicycle safety in the spotlight. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Committee is set to discuss strategies for promoting crosswalk safety, ways to improve speed control, and compliance with signs and markings. The committee will also talk about issues like visibility, code violations, and the safe use of e-bikes. They are meeting in just a few hours at 9 a.m. at the South Bethany Town Hall.
Crews are busy in Rehoboth Beach. They're working to improve walkability in this city. According to its Facebook page, a new sidewalk is going in at Christian Street and Bayard Avenue. And there's also routine repairs to the boardwalk. The city reminds drivers that all non-parking signs on Christian Street must be followed to prevent risk of being ticketed or towed.
And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Yeah, coming up, new taxiway and transit, the progress for the improvement project at the Delaware Coastal Airport.
Also moving towards Maryland election, we'll show you what could be on the ballot and how those candidates are preparing.
But first, serving more than sandwiches, we have a century of stories live that lives inside Wilson's General Store. It's this week's Coastal Connection as CoastTV News Today continues.
We all know Delaware is the first state, and with that comes a lot of history, a lot of old places. What was once a one-room schoolhouse in Georgetown evolved into a general store, and now it's widely considered the oldest deli in Delaware. In this week's Coastal Connections, Emma Aiken brings us to Wilson's General Store.
This little store in Georgetown has lived a lot of lives. First, it was a one-room schoolhouse in the 1890s. Then, in the 1930s, Marshall Wilson converted it into a rural country store. He named it Wilson's General Store. In the 70s, Marshall's son, Jim, took over.
Jim had the store for 80 plus years, him and his father, and they built quite a culture here. So when we bought it 3 or 4 years ago, we just built on that base culture.
That's Jim in the middle there. And on his sides, Laura Berberich and Tim Cupston, who've owned the store for the past few years, though Jim is still there most days.
He was the Grand Marshal, still is the Grand Marshal. We owe it to this guy.
Jim tells me you used to be able to buy everything at Wilson's. You could even walk into Wilson's and buy a sandwich and a gun in the same trip.
What caught our eye is when we first passed here, we saw the sign. It said sandwiches, firearms, ammunition, and notary.
And sitting behind those three is a group of regulars who can attest to those very memories.
We bought our guns, ammunition under Jim Wilson. He made a lot of money off of us.
Now Wilson's has evolved into mostly a sandwich shop. And it's widely considered the oldest deli in Delaware.
Once you try it and stuff, you'll not go to McDonald's or Hardee's. You'll come to Wilson's store because you'll get the best sandwich and the best price on Delmarva.
That's local Joe Pete, who's been here since the beginning.
I bought the first sandwich when this store opened.
Pete and his friends go to Wilson's just about every morning.
Joe?
Yes.
Please let me know about the sandwich we named after you.
Oh yeah, I got a sandwich up here.
So much so that Pete got his own sandwich named after him. Of course, the Delaware way, with scrapple.
This is a scrapple, bacon, cheese.
I suggested that he gets 1 slice of scrapple, 1 egg on toast, and they named the sandwich after me. It's called Joe Pete.
Rang the cowbell, and he quieted down.
Pete says Wilson's is an escape.
It's horrible how things is, but when you come to a Wilson store, you get cheered up. I mean, you come out positive. We try not to be negative. Right, Bob?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, yes. We come out with a positive attitude.
And that bond goes both ways.
We have a lot of the same locals every morning, and they're part of the Wilson family, and we're proud to have them here.
The Wilson's family.
I'm not going to kiss him, but I'll shake his hand.
Laughter from the locals to the sizzle of the start of a sandwich. Wilson's isn't just a store or a deli, it's a living slice of Delaware history. For Coastal Connections, I'm Emma Aiken.
Time is 6:16 and you are looking live at the pre-sunrise scene in Salisbury, and we are trending okay for the day, Chris, but it's what's happening tonight that has us under those yellow alert conditions.
Yeah, we're keeping a close eye between about 3 o'clock this afternoon through 10 o'clock tonight for that threat of showers and storms, some of which could turn severe, but it is quite muggy and warm at this hour, waking up to temperatures in the 70s, 74 Rehoboth, 73 Bethany, 74 Millsboro, 73 Georgetown, and 72 in Harrington. As I mentioned, those dew points, when you get above 65, you start to feel it. We're well in the low 70s, so quite tropical-like out there this morning. You can see some wet roadways. We had a brief shower there in Salisbury, 73 right now, dew point 71. There was that sprinkle that pushed through, and it's kind of fading out there over Lewis, but we see a few sprinkles there in and across Easton. Those have since dissipated, but we see this area of showers, a few thunderstorms mixed in there north and west of Richmond, and these are going to push through D.C. Could graze the far western reaches of the peninsula this morning, but the main batch of moisture is back off to the west. This is all associated with a cold front that's going to be slinging our way late this afternoon through the early evening. So you see we stay pretty dry, cloudy through the morning, breaks in the clouds through the afternoon, and that is key. Kind of more instability if we get some sunshine through the afternoon. Storm Prediction Center has that marginal risk in play. Could see a damaging wind in excess of 60 miles an hour, as well as a brief tornado can't be ruled out. There's those showers brief through the midshore. Then as we go into the afternoon, notice, see a few isolated thunderstorms beginning to develop between about 5, 6 o'clock, pushing through Sussex County. And then we see another area pushing through Salisbury, southern Sussex by around 9 this evening. And then the rain will kind of subside. We'll see a few lingering showers early tomorrow morning, especially the southern part of the peninsula. But then we're going to gradually clear out through the afternoon. As we go into the weekend, we stay unsettled, not a complete washout, a lot of clouds. There's going to be an area of low pressure that develops across the Carolinas, and that may kind of spin some moisture our way. Then the forecast gets a bit complicated as we go into the early part of next week, and I'll show you why. We have 2 tropical systems, one that became Tropical Storm Umberto, moving northwest, sustained winds 45 miles an hour, will likely become a hurricane over the weekend, and then eventually a major hurricane, and then make kind of a northwesterly turn well off the Carolinas. But then we also have Invest 94L. That will likely become Imelda, and these 2 storms are going to kind of work in tandem. How they interact with each other remains to be seen, but we're going to have to fine-tune the forecast through the weekend how those storms impact us. But we could see some moisture, at least from Imelda, push into our area early next week. But the weekend, as I mentioned, not a complete washout. We're at 76 into Sunday with some scattered showers possible. And then we're going to keep it unsettled Monday through Tuesday with rain chances there, with some of that tropical moisture working into the area. But then the good news is once we kick these tropical systems out of here early next week, that's just a taste of fall there. 68 degrees for a high on Wednesday. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Politicians and voters mingled at the 48th J. Miller Taws Crab and Clam Bake in Crisfield on Wednesday. Governor Wes Moore and Eastern Shore State Senator Steve Hershey were there. Moore is running for re-election, and Hershey is considering a run for the state's highest office. Also, candidates for Maryland's 1st congressional district race were there.
We'll have to wait to see if the Democrats, attempt redistricting. That could affect the decision. But even if they redistrict, as long as the Eastern Shore is in the district, I'm going to be running.
People are fed up with not having a representative that actually comes out and listens to them and meets with them and speaks with them. And, I really think that we can do better for the people here. We can do better for working families.
Maryland Housing Secretary and former Salisbury Mayor Jake Day told us he plans to have an announcement soon about a potential run for office.
Salisbury is gearing up for a major fall tradition this weekend, the Seagull Century Bike Ride. The city says the cycling event, organized by Salisbury University, takes place Saturday, September 27th. To keep riders safe, Bateman Street will be closed between Route 13 and South Division Street. Temporary restrictions will also be in place along South Division Street at Avery Street and between Francis Drive and Milford Street.
Salisbury is preparing for its fall fire hydrant flushing program. According to the city's website, crews will do this in 2 phases, October 5th through the 9th, that's for certain areas, and then there's October 13th through the 17th for the rest of the city. And they say the flushing helps maintain water quality and keeps hydrants in good working order. According to Waterworks Director Corey Cameron, running faucets for a short time should clear possible discoloration.
Up next, new taxiway and transit will tell you why members of the Delaware Coastal Airport Advisory Committee say the current taxi just isn't enough anymore. Don't go anywhere. Phase 1 of a 4-part taxiway extension process has been completed at the Delaware Coastal Airport. Once it's finished, the taxiway will sit parallel to the current taxi. This extension will allow for larger aircrafts to travel the taxiway with ease.
Yeah, members of the Delaware Coastal Advisory Committee, they say this is needed. Traffic to the airport has become too much for the current taxiway to handle. CoastTV photojournalist Matt Hipsman drops us off at the airport.
The new taxiway Bravo will be a FAA compliant full-length taxiway for our primary runway. The runway right now is 5,500 feet long, so of course the taxiway is going to match that. The problem is the Federal Aviation Administration required us to break the construction phasing of the taxiway into 4 separate construction phases. So we have just completed phase 1. Sussex County just received 2 grants from the Federal Aviation Administration to construct the second phase. And then of course we're going to need another 2 years of FAA grants to complete the third and the fourth phase.
Construction going on at the airport, and they want to complain about my tax dollars. I don't want my tax dollars going into that for fancy people in their airplanes. The type of traffic we have here now, the taxiway we have no longer even meets the standards. So it's difficult for larger airplanes to get up and down the runway because we don't have parallel taxiways. But 90% of that construction is being funded through taxes that I pay and the other airplane owners pay, and people out here on the highway do not pay that. None of their tax money goes to that.
We would always love to have scheduled airline service at this airport, but the economic realities, our proximity to Philadelphia, Baltimore, even Washington, D.C., kind of makes it difficult to romance an airline, to want to drop a flight at the Delaware Coastal Airport only to fly what would probably be less than a 15-minute flight to a hub airport.
New this morning, the Milton Public Library is connecting veterans with important resources. According to the Milton Chamber of Commerce, the Veterans Information event is taking place this afternoon. Presenters with Delaware's Veterans Affairs will explain health care enrollment along with eligibility, benefit administration, and disability claims and filing. Organizers say the veterans are encouraged to bring any paperwork that they may need.
The Bethany-Fenwick Area Chamber of Commerce is kicking off its fall season with a networking event today. The chamber will host its first business after hours of the season at the Roxana Volunteer Fire Company Station 1. Organizers say there will be refreshments and that event will run from 4:30 to 6:30. And if you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. All you have to do is sign up for free at coasttv.com/signup and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And we are awaiting some thunderstorms later this evening. We don't think it'll ruin some beach days for people. Still trying to soak in this warm weather.
Yeah, I keep peppering Chris Mastrobono, our first alert meteorologist, like, hey, is there a window here to hit the beach on Thursday? And it sounds like Chris.
Tasty waves.
Tasty waves. Yeah. Tasty waves, indeed. Chris sounds like we might be okay if you want to hit the beach in the late morning, early afternoon.
Yeah, the thunderstorms are going to get to the coast last, and not till late this afternoon, early evening. And we're going to start the day with a lot of clouds, but we should see some breaks in those clouds through the afternoon. Ocean view, cloudy, very tropical-like start to our day. We're at 74 degrees. Look at the dew point. 72 winds are out of the south, really lightly at 3 miles an hour. As we go late in the afternoon, early evening hours is when we'll begin to see the threat of those showers and storms rolling in across the area. So we get most of the mid part of the day is dry, warm and humid with highs in the low to mid 80s, moderate risk of rip currents. Could see a brief shower early this morning in Cambridge, otherwise a better chance of showers after about 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. And then as we go into the evening, we'll continue to see that threat of showers and storms. We have Tom Baylor there of Lincoln, Delaware. You're the winner of our weather umbrella there from Coast TV. And you can get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert weather phone. We'll talk more about the storms and the weekend ahead coming up in the next half hour.
Thank you so much, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, Milton Milestone will tell you what's expected as the town's first police accountability meeting takes place.
Also, AG Town Hall, we're looking at Delaware Kathy Jennings' appearance tonight at a meeting in Georgetown.
And potential partnership opposition will tell you how the Salisbury mayor says a potential partnership with ICE could impact the city. Coast TV News today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Assessing ICE. A Delmarva city is debating a partnership with the agency while the FBI continues its search for answers this morning in the wake of Wednesday's deadly attack in Dallas.
AG discusses direction. What Delaware's Kathy Jennings is set to review at a town hall tonight in Georgetown.
It's a muggy, damp start to our Thursday. We have a yellow alert day in place for the threat of severe storms this evening. I'll time out the storms in minutes.
Oversight efforts. We look at the expectations from Milton's new Police Accountability Committee.
This is Coast TV News Today.
September 25th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
6:31 a.m. It is Friday Eve.
Matt, you're wearing Rutgers colors today.
I did it for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm such a good friend.
Well, it gets even better Chris is wearing Cleveland Guardians colors today. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate
Apparently,
this.
this is the Everything for Elisa show,
You
Chris.
didn't have to
It's
do
Elisa's
that
world, and
for
we're just
me.
living in it.
Guys, I really appreciate it.
I saw they won again. Those are hot. My boys hit 8 home runs last night. I completely missed that. I was sleeping while that happened. But as we take a live look into cloudy Laurel, it is very tropical out there this morning. Temperatures are beginning in the low 70s. Dew points are in the 70s. Yeah, this is very muggy out there. And we're going to hold with the cloudy skies through the morning, rising to about 78 by around 10. Can't rule out an isolated shower primarily across the western half of the peninsula. We're tracking this area of showers just to the southwest of D.C., and that may graze the western portion of the peninsula later this morning. Watching this complex of storms associated with the cold front that's advancing eastward and will be impacting us later today. As far as visibility is concerned, hasn't been an issue this morning. 74 Indian River Inlet. We're at 73 Gumboro, 74 in Seaford. As I mentioned, dew points are above that 70-degree range, so it is quite muggy out there. It's going to be another warm and muggy day with temperatures generally upper 70s in Ocean City, Chicotee, lower 80s from Lewis, Rehoboth to Dewey. Watching for those showers and storms to develop late this afternoon after about 4 or 5 o'clock through the evening time frame. The primary impacts with these storms, we could see isolated damaging winds as well as even a brief tornado, watching for that. Then as we go into Friday, early morning showers give way to sunshine in the afternoon, and we should stay rather seasonable with temperatures in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. Coming up, we'll talk more about the storms later on, as well as the weekend ahead, which is looking a bit more cloudier than sunny. We'll talk more about that later on. Elisa.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, our top story this half hour, city leaders in Salisbury are questioning a potential partnership with ICE.
Monday night, some council members voiced concerns regarding any city involvement with a proposed 280CG agreement.
And Wicomico County officials are leading the charge for this, and any deal would ultimately be between the county and ICE.
Earlier this month, the city announced its intent to cooperate. In fact, Mayor Randy Taylor, who's been pushing for the city to be involved, says he believes this would make Salisbury safer.
One detainee is dead and 2 more are in serious condition following a shooting at around 6:40 Wednesday morning at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement field office in Dallas, Texas. According to multiple senior law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation, the shooter has been identified as 29-year-old Joshua John. 3 ICE detainees were shot when John opened fire from a nearby rooftop early Wednesday morning. The FBI says rounds found near the shooter contained messages that were anti-ICE in nature.
Early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
So I'm going to ask you all to join me also in praying for this city, that we can come together at a time like this, and that we can be there for one another the way we always have in times like this.
The shooting was at least the 4th instance of violence or threat at an ICE or Customs and Border Protection facility in Texas this year.
Happening tonight in Georgetown, Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings is set to take part in a town hall. It's not open to the full public. According to the Sussex County Democratic Committee, the invitation they offered is for registered Democrats. Jennings has partnered with other Democratic attorneys general in suing the Trump administration several times this year, including the setting of conditions of federal grants for victims of crime. According to the committee, the town hall will start at 6 p.m. at the First State Community Action Agency. That's on North Railroad Avenue.
New this morning in Milton, the town's very first Police Accountability Committee meeting is taking place later today. A law was passed in the last session of the General Assembly that all police departments in the state must have an accountability committee. Milton announced the formation of that committee last year, but the town hall confirmed to us that tonight is the actual first meeting. Committee members are expected to review their training to help advise the police department.
Crews are busy in Rehoboth Beach. They're working to improve walkability in the city. According to its Facebook page, a new sidewalk is going in at Christian Street and Bayard Avenue. And while there are ongoing routine boardwalk repairs going on, Rehoboth Beach reminds drivers that all no parking signs on Christian Street must be followed to prevent the risk of being ticketed or towed.
New this morning, world leaders continue to gather in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, but many UN representatives say part of their focus is on what's happening far away in Gaza.
As Amy Kiley shows us, today's UN agenda is giving the Palestinian people a voice.
As famine and attacks continue in Gaza, the leader of the Palestinian Authority is addressing the UN General Assembly remotely today. President Mahmoud Abbas can't travel to New York. The Trump administration is barring him from the U.S. by refusing him a visa.
If they think that this way they will silence us, they're mistaken.
Abbas's speech today comes after a UN inquiry concluded Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. That's also the finding of the International Association of Genocide Scholars.
What has this baby done?
The Palestinian Health Ministry says about 65,000 Gazans have died during the ongoing conflict. The UN agency reports more than 500,000 Gazans are starving.
I went in February and met kids who had had amputations without anesthetics. It's horrendous that kids dying of starvation, effectively their bodies consuming their own organs.
Israel denies it's committing genocide and says it's acting in self-defense.
Only pressure on Hamas will move the needle.
The Trump administration is pushing for a ceasefire with a new 21-point plan. It's not backing a two-state solution.
Instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages now.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, internet service impacts will tell you how locals in Maryland say a nearly $2 million project could create new opportunities.
Also, soccer success. We've got the comeback effort in a key Bayside Conference match.
And car seat safety will tell you how to ensure the proper installation this weekend in Delaware. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Well, your Thursday morning is off to a great start. When you step outside the door this morning, you're going to feel that tropical-like air hit you. We're at 73 right now in Cambridge. Dew point 72. You could see mostly cloudy skies there. Could see a brief isolated shower later this morning, primarily across the western part of the peninsula. For the most part, we're going to stay pretty dry. We had a few spotty showers overnight, but watching this area of rain just to the southwest of Washington and Richmond, that's moving to the northeast, and that could again graze the northeast portion of the peninsula. But here is the complex of storms that we're keeping a close eye on for later on today, all associated with the cold front. 73 in Milford. We're at 74, Dagsboro 73 in Longnet. So a muggy, damp start out there this morning. Not dealing with fog all that much, but we're at 71 to start. On our way to, once again, highs in the lower to mid 80s with some breaks in those clouds through the afternoon. Storms roll in from west to east after about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon and roll through the evening. We'll talk more about that ahead in the full 7-day forecast. Matt.
Okay, Chris, the Delaware State Fire Marshal's office is continuing to investigate a fire in Georgetown. Now, according to the Georgetown Fire Company, emergency units responded to Shortley Road, and when crews got there, they saw this two-story wood frame home that was in flames, and here it is after they put it out. After getting it out, the fire crews took care of the remaining hot spots.
The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is holding a national seat check on Saturday, September 27th at the Bay Health Sussex campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They say the event is designed to help ensure that car seats are installed correctly and are appropriate for a child's age, height, and weight.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, everyone. We've had some great soccer on the peninsula this season, so why not show you some more? Today I got the best plays from Mardella and Crisfield, a game with no shortage of drama. We start here with the Crabbers putting the Warriors in a pinch early in the 4th minute. Connor Haney is going to get a penalty kick to go. The junior slots it in the bottom right to give Crisfield a 1-0 lead, but the Warriors won't back down. In the 21st minute, Lucas Van Zulingen drills one from deep, but Hezekiah Roberts, he's Johnny on the spot, comes in to knock in the rebound. It's 1-1. Then Crisfield making a push here. Dominic Panzo sends one towards net, but Bryce Brown is going to put his body on the line. We're still tied at 1s. Then 35th minute, Mardella, it's a free kick, puts it on goal. Roberts, he's in the right spot again. He's not going to miss from there. Puts it away. The Warriors lead 2-1 going into the half. Second half now. The Crabbers trying to make a push. Martino Jackson sends one in the middle, but Brown, he's just letting his body on the line. Makes another stop there. But then on the other side, another opportunity shut down by Marsh. But Chris Field, it's a Connor Haney at the penalty kick spot again, and he can't miss. We're tied up at 2 in the 65th minute. Then the Crabbers, another chance to pull ahead, and Haney with the free kick, he gets it back on his own, and he rifles it in from just outside the box, and to give the Crabbers the lead. They're trying to complete a comeback, and they do it with Daniel Calder trying to make this free kick, but Marcus Sturgis blocks it, clears it. Crabbers complete the comeback and win 3-2. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 5, it is the Scoops and Scores pregame show. And then we have live Bayside Conference football at 6. Parkside hosts Colonel Richardson at 11. It is the final score. Along with that football game we just told you about, here's what you can watch on DSN Plus. At 4, Salisbury School takes on Worcester Prep. That's in boys soccer. 6 p.m., high school field hockey, Cape at home with Smyrna. Washington is visiting Snow Hill in high school football. And then we have more high school football at 7. That's when Woodbridge travels to Howard.
And the fall isn't just for football, it's for marching band too, and the Delmarva Sports Network will cover 6 marching band competitions featuring over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. These competitions will stream exclusively on DSN+. The next one is scheduled for Saturday, September 27th.
And it is week 4 of the NFL regular season. We have Sunday Night Football right here on CoastTV. The Packers are taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Coverage begins at 7, and then stay right here for CoastTV News following the game. And we are once again gearing up for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Draper Media works to make the holiday season brighter for children on Delmarva. The money raised goes to charitable groups who then buy Christmas presents. Right now, we're accepting funding applications from these nonprofits through October 1st. You can find all this information at a link at blessourchildren.org.
And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Happy Thursday, Delmarva. If you tune into Coast Life, here's what's in store for you. Because it is Thursday, we got football tonight, and that is what we are talking about, both in our Spill the Tea. Does it hurt your feelings when your partner wears your rival team's colors? We'll dive into it. Also, maybe you're not really a football fan, but you kind of want to maybe start being a football fan. That's okay. You're not alone. We got the guy that's going to guide you through it. All of that and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you there.
We have a warm tropical-like day on tap here on Delmarva. Yellow alert in play for afternoon, evening showers and storms, some of which could go severe with damaging winds, isolated tornado, and then we'll dry things out into Friday afternoon. We'll track the storms and have a look at your weekend forecast straight ahead.
Time is now 6:49, and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning, and this camera always gives us a beautiful sunrise, Chris, on a clear day. So far, the weather outside, it's pretty decent out there, but that story will change later this evening.
Yeah, that's the time frame we're really kind of honing in on for the threat of some isolated severe storms. It's tropical out there this morning, very warm at this hour. For this time of year, 73 Long Neck, we're at 74 Indian River Inlet, 74 Seaford, 72 in Harrington. Look at those dew points, lower 70, so quite tropical. We're a bit damp out there. We had a few spotty showers overnight. We're at 73 in Salisbury. Winds are out of the south. Watching a few showers on the other side of the bay. You can see some light shower activity in and across portions of Virginia and Maryland. Some heavier rain just to the west of Richmond. This is all pushing to the northwest, so we'll likely see a few of these showers make their way into the midshore and portions of the peninsula, at least through the morning, and then we'll get a bit of a break in the action through midday before this next round of rain associated with the cold front rolls through the area. So a lot of clouds to start this morning. Again, an isolated shower through the morning, and then we get a break through the noontime hour, and then once we get that break in the sun, we get some sun through the clouds. That may kind of help the instability factor and promote some storm development later on this afternoon. We have that marginal risk for a threat of severe storms later on today. So there's a few of those isolated showers rolling through this morning. Then you see those breaks in the clouds. That will kind of help fuel some of these thunderstorms later on this afternoon. So we'll have to watch how that develops, but we'll see a few of those thunderstorms developing about 4 or 5 o'clock, spreading over the area through about 6 o'clock, and then into the evening, still seeing some pretty potent thunderstorms moving through the southern part of Sussex County into Salisbury about 9 o'clock. And then that front's going to kind of sag to our south, so we could see a few showers to start from Ocean City southward early Friday before we gradually clear through Friday afternoon. The weekend right now, more clouds than sun. Could see late showers Saturday into Sunday as a disturbance over the Carolinas pushes some moisture our way, and then we stay rather unsettled into the start of next week, and a pretty complex situation develops. We now have a new tropical storm, Umberto, moving northwest about 10 miles an hour, sustained winds 45, and this will likely be a major hurricane into early next week, pushing into the western Atlantic. We also have Invest 94L, likely will become Imelda, and how these two systems work in tandem remains to be seen, but they will impact the East Coast in some shape or form in the form of rough surf and moisture into early next week. 76 on Sunday with scattered showers, and we'll keep the tropical moisture in play at least Monday through Tuesday. 75 Monday, and then look at that, by Wednesday we see a high temperature of 68 degrees.
Thank you, Chris. Maryland Governor Wes Moore visited Smith Island Wednesday to celebrate the start of high-speed mobile and home internet service. The nearly $2 million project launched in June of last year. It is now complete. Governor Moore spoke to Verizon engineers, business owners, and neighbors. And people living on Smith Island say reliable internet opens up new opportunities for telehealth, remote work, and the economy.
For Smith Islanders, I know this is cliche, and it's probably been said too many times today. I don't think so, but it is a game changer. We're isolated. We have a thriving tourism industry, our seafood industry, and everything's connected now.
Some people on Smith Island say the service is already making a big difference. According to state officials, Smith Island is the first of many remote communities in Maryland that they want to get connected.
And the time is now 6:53, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pet of the day this hour, yes, Elisa, we have Benny again.
Oh,
he is ready for the weekend's football games. He's got a big one, Penn State, Oregon. Wonder who he's rooting for in that one.
Oregon. He's a smart dog.
I'll just leave that alone. As always, Benny was submitted to us by Tammy in Seaford.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
That is where that QR code is, top center. Scan it, get your friends to CoastTV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
The time is now 6:56, and we are going to take another look at our forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, we're tracking some heavy rain, Chris, but that is for late afternoon, early evening.
Yeah, very tropical out there this morning. Temperatures starting off in the 70s. Could see an isolated shower through the morning, primarily the western part of the peninsula. We'll see some breaks in the clouds through the afternoon, 85 by around 2 o'clock. So highs today generally in the mid to maybe some few upper 80s as we get those breaks before some showers and storms roll in for about 4 o'clock tonight. We have the yellow alert in play. Damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour is the primary threat. Can't even rule out a brief isolated tornado. 81 into Friday. After a few morning showers, we clear out. And then the weekend, more clouds than sun. A mostly cloudy Saturday. Could see a late shower Saturday into Sunday. And then we watch the tropics. Close eye on the tropics. Could see some tropical-like moisture work its way into Delmarva Monday through Tuesday with temperatures in the 70s. And then look at that drop off in temperature once we clear out that tropical moisture. Big high pressure builds in late next week. And we're going to have temperatures falling into the mid to upper 60s. So that will feel pretty good for all the fall lovers out there. Lisa?
All right, thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for CoastTV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for CoastTV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our CoastTV News and weather apps. Have a great Thursday morning, everybody.